Hey everyone, welcome back to Carrots and Olives. Today I wanted to share my thoughts on this pen case. So this is called the Porter pen case and it's from Baum-kuchen. It is a collaboration between Baum-kuchen and Superior Labor. They have a logo, which is a collaborative logo that they put together. Although I can't read it, I still feel like it's pretty cool that they were able to come up with a design logo together. It is like debossed, so you can feel the divots in the leather. This is a leather case and it does come with the Superior Labor tag, which I have begun to keep on my Superior Labor products. I have had this case for a little bit over a month, and I thought that I would share with you my thoughts on this case. So I don't see much about this case online. Maybe it was bigger a couple years back, but this case is very portable. It can fit many things, and as for size, it's relatively the same, maybe a little bit, well, definitely a little bit larger than an iPhone 12 Pro, and even this can fit into this case. So I usually like to buy my leather cases for my fountain pens. Superior Labor and Baum-kuchen suggests that these can be used to not only hold your writing utensils, but also flat items as well. And they do suggest to have your flat items on the left side of the case and your writing utensils on the right side. So when you open this up, it will lay flat, which is something I think many of us prefer, so that we could see everything all at once, right? So I love a case that can open up flat, and if you don't want it to open up flat, you could just open it up partially and pull out your pens if you wanted to do it that way. That is also an option, but I really think that a really great feature of this case is the fact that it can open up flat. I do have a couple of other cases that are collaborative pieces with Superior Labor, and those other options of cases, leather cases, don't open up flat. And so did gravitate towards this one over time because of the fact that it can open up flat. So they have 2 pockets on the left side, 1 pocket on the right. They suggest to put flat items on the left side, so you could do things like some washi samples or Kita tape, or if you have those Hobonichi stencils, things like that can fit on the left side, and you can utilize both little pockets. For me, in the past month, I've strictly been using this for my fountain pens and some other pens. I've put in some ballpoints and gel pens in here, but I prefer to use this case for my fountain pens. I have not utilized this little pocket. It's nice that it's there, but I don't need to use it at the moment. As for the pens, this is leather, so there is no plush inside of the backing of this leather case. So just keep that in mind if you're one who's very particular about making sure that your pens are rubbing on something smooth when they are being put into a case or somewhere to store. I've noticed that with some of my pens, if I put in too many of my fountain pens, they will eventually get scratched. And although I haven't seen it with this particular case, it has happened in some of my other cases. So I've been a little bit more cautious about what I'm putting in my cases, especially if they do not have any inserts to separate them. So right now is an example of how many pens you can typically store. I can add an additional pen here if I wanted to. So pretty much 6 to me is a max of pens, and the only reason I don't have 6 at the moment is because I want to allow enough space between my Sailor Pro Gear and my Mont Blanc. A really nice feature is that this is the only case I've seen on any of the collaborations between Superior Labor and other brand names that it has a leather sleeve that will protect the left side from the right side. I don't ever find that the sleeve gets in the way whenever I close it. It's the perfect size and it fits without getting snatched or caught on the zipper. Now, this case is limited in how much it can stretch, and I feel like over time I've really put it to the test, and it is withstanding even some of my fatter pens. So far, there has not been any tearing or pulling of the zipper or stitching. The stitching is still intact and functioning well. This case has morphed a little bit to the shape of my pens. So over time, it has bulged in the middle because of the pens that I put in here. So even on the top, in the back here. I do like to clip my pens into the pocket, and I don't mind there being any divots or scratches on my leather because I do like that character, and that is something that will produce more character over time. It's the only way to resist this from happening is to not clip your pens on the pockets. Literally the first day I got this pouch and I clipped my pens in, I had already made divots. So just keep that in mind. If that is something you don't want to happen, then definitely don't clip your pens in and just zip them in there like that. So if I take out my pens, I would say that it does kind of hold the shape of the pens that you have in here. This is the first time I've probably taken out the pens completely and zipped up the case without anything in it. So you could still see it still has the form of the pens that were in there. There are a few scratches on the leather, and my leather has patinaed quite a bit. So I would say that the leather started off this color. I touch my case more often than I touch this tag. So it's nice to see how it's changing color. Even this is a little bit lighter, but not as light as a tag, and that's because sometimes I have set this out and I'm always touching that as well. So if I wanted to put my phone in here, I could, and maybe even like a plane ticket I could stuff in here and just be on my way. And then it does accommodate thicker, girthier pens. So I do have an Opus 88 Jazz, and it does fit. It's actually a pretty long pen as well, and it fits just fine. So you can also see some of the divots in there. but I find that this piece is just going to get even more beautiful and lovely over time, and I really enjoy using it. Right now I have my Sailor, and why am I forgetting the name? But this is the Refresh Sailor pen from Yoseka, and it was a collaboration with Sailor, and I got it in the music nib. It's another Sailor, which is a Sailor I got from Pen Chalet, and this is the Sailor Mini. I have a Pilot Vanishing Point Decimo, and that one is actually a pretty long pen as well. Then my Mont Blanc 145, and a Sailor Pro Gear. This is the Autumn Sky edition. And then the flap. I have also used this flap when I'm writing and I want a surface so that my hand can rest. So I usually hold it down on this side because it sticks to the surface, since it has this velvety texture on the back, so it doesn't move around quite as much, and I can easily just move my hand as I'm writing and protect the paper. The zipper is very smooth, and I find that it never gets caught. Also, the material around the zipper has a little bit of stretch to it, so it does give a little bit if you have it super full. So again, I've had this leather case for a little bit over a month. It has patinaed a little bit. I don't leave it out in the sun. It usually stays in my office, but I do bring it upstairs or around the house with me while I'm journaling and need my pens. I have found that it has softened. When I first got it, it was pretty stiff. The leather isn't super thick. It's quite thin, thinner than I expected, but in a good way, because it does morph and kind of hug my pens in this case. And it is still very smooth and still one of my favorite cases that I haven't put down yet. So if you have any questions, please let me know in the comments, and I hope you guys have a good rest of your day. I will talk to you in the next video. Bye.